Hey guys, my name is TJ, and today I'm going to be talking about my cancer journey. My cancer journey started back in February of this year. It was a 3-hour delay day. I had just woken up out of bed. I went to the bathroom to wash off my glasses, and I noticed a lump on my neck. And I didn't really think much of it. I thought it was like a bug bite of some type. So I went downstairs and I talked to my mom about it, and she kind of checked it out and she was like, yeah, this doesn't really look great. So she immediately scheduled a doctor's appointment for the next day. The next day I went to the doctor's and she did blood work. She kind of checked it out. She said, yeah, this doesn't look great. I'm going to send you down for a ultrasound. And they did the ultrasound on my neck, and they had determined that it was just infected lymphocytes and that they were going to do a round of antibiotics and reconvene in 10 days. So then 10 days went by and I finished the antibiotics and it was still there, but it did go down like a little bit. The swelling did go down a slight bit. So then she said, all right, since it went down a little bit, we're going to try the antibiotics again. So I went on antibiotics for another 10 days and I came back and it was still there. And she said, all right, I'm going to send you guys down to the Janet Weiss Children's Hospital down in Danville and for a biopsy. So we get down there, we get to the oncology floor. We meet with my oncologist. His name is Dr. Ramdas. He's like the best. And he says, yeah, this doesn't look right. We're going to biopsy it, but we could either needle biopsy it or we could surgically biopsy it, which is when they go in and they put me under and they take out a part of it so that they have a better sample. So we decided that we would get it biopsied the surgical way. So I got the surgery, and on March 27th, my mom got a phone call that I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. Now, upon being diagnosed, the 27th was the week of my Pippin show. So my parents made the decision not to tell me until the following week. So I get done with the Pippin show the Monday. I think I'm going to the doctor's for more tests, but my parents stop me before we go upstairs and they tell me that I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. They said that I took the news better than them. I mean, I was still kind of hurt by being told, kind of late, but I knew that they did that to protect me. We went upstairs to the doctor. They talked about putting in a port, which takes all my medicine. It goes right into my central line, and it goes through my bloodstream, and it helps cure the cancer. That day I also got a PET scan. A PET scan is when you're put in like either a big tube or like half a tube. I was put in a half tube, and it's like a 30-minute process. You're injected with dye, and you basically lay down for 30 minutes. And it's not loud or anything, but like you can't move, and your arms are like above your head. And it did kind of get uncomfortable. They did the PET scan to stage it, and when they stage it, they know how the cancer progressed. So after that Monday, Tuesday passed, and then Wednesday came, and the results were back. It was stage 2, Hodgkin's lymphoma. And I was kind of scared because I was just like new with the whole, like, oh, you have cancer. And I was kind of freaked out because I didn't know what to expect. So next week, that Monday, I go in to see the doctor. That was the Monday that I got my surgery to put my port in. So that was the port placement surgery for all my chemotherapy. And that's when the doctor told us that we're not looking at stage 2 because he had further analyzed it. And we found that it was stage 4A. Stage 4A means that it has progressed to vital organs. So at this point, it was in my liver and in my lungs. And I was scared because I didn't know what to expect. With everything going on, because everything was new. It was like a week after, and I finally got a port in, and it was like crazy. So having stage 4A instead of 4B. 4A means that it has progressed through my body, but I was missing B symptoms, if that makes sense. B symptoms are extreme weight loss, extreme night sweats, fatigue, you know, like tiredness, and like all this other stuff. That's crazy. But having stage 4A, I knew that I could get through it, even though I knew that there was a lot to get rid of. So after that Monday, I was kind of nervous because next week we started chemo. The next Monday we started chemo, and we started cycle 1. And cycle 1 was kind of scary because everything was new. I had to stay in the hospital for 3 days. It was really scary. There was like nothing to expect. And that was also the week of Easter. And I remember a few years back, my sister got the whole family sick on Easter, and I didn't want that to happen again because it's not fun getting sick. Cycle 1 went pretty good. Monday it started. They have to test your urine before they start, which I never knew that, to make sure that your water levels are like perfect, and then they start. Port access takes a while, but everything is sterile, so that's why it takes a while. So day 1 of chemo was kind of scary. It was everything was new. I got a lot of drugs put in me that were helping me. I got to see a therapy dog, which was pretty cool. And it was kind of interesting being in the hospital and seeing other kids, you know, kind of go through the same thing as you. Most of them are younger, but there are older kids there. After that, I went home, and Thursday morning I got sick a little, but after that I was perfectly fine, and eating was kind of slow. I didn't eat much. I kind of ate very little, but little is better than nothing, because if you eat nothing, then you'll probably get sick. The other thing that I recommend is, even if you don't feel like eating, you should try to have something on your stomach, because those drugs are powerful. After cycle 1, Easter passed, and then I had a round of outpatient treatment, which is when I'm there for like 2 to 3 hours. And that was scary because when I came home, I developed a fever, which is normal for something like that to happen. And so I had to go to the ER, and I was like scared because I don't want to get sick, A, because my counts were really low, and B, it was new. I didn't expect something like that to happen. After that, it depends on what cancer you have, but you go, I went through a week of like no treatment, no nothing, and I just kind of relaxed and let my body regenerate itself. And then round 2 came. Round 2, I kind of got used to it. I kind of made friends with some nurses, and I kind of got like my eating pattern down. So it's like I knew it would come after. And then even when I got my outpatient treatment, I knew that I would develop a fever, and yes, I did. And we knew how to take care of it, so we got that down. And then cycle 3, which had just passed. Cycle 3 passed 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, it passed. And this is my off week. So cycle 3 had just passed. Cycle 3 out of 5. So I have 2 more. Cycle 4 starts next week, which I'm not looking forward to. But cycle 3, I would have to say, is probably the worst. Cycle 3, I was used to everything. Wednesday night, I got sick a lot. And it wasn't fun. It was quite scary because I didn't expect it. It was one of the drugs had caused me to get sick, because I've noticed more now that I've been through it. I'm kind of like retaliating against it, it kind of feels like, and it like burns my stomach and it makes me feel nauseous. So I talked to the doctor about that, and he said, well, we could try one more thing for nausea. So when I go in for cycle 4, hopefully that'll help. What I recommend for most people is just to be comfy, because it's bring things that comfort you. Bring a PlayStation, like anything, like have people visit you if that makes you feel better. Get outside your room when you don't feel, or like when smells aren't bothering you, which is another thing about chemo, is that your smells and like all your senses are like freaked out. But yeah, everything's going smoothly. After cycle 2, I went for a PET scan, and the PET scan showed that most of my tumors are gone, except for the ones in my lungs, but hopefully those will get resolved, and the one in my neck is still getting smaller, but I will not need radiation, so that's a good sign. But yeah, everything's going smooth. Anyway, I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for coming and watching. See ya.